And like I said, that's one way of doing things. Though the next thing is to understand is the story. So basically, I kind of just gave you the story by stating that you put the reference down and then you write down exactly what you need to write down, and then you use a physical representation of what you've written down. But what you've just written down is actually a story. You've just written a very, very short story based on what you've said. Went upstairs to get a banana. Went outside to watch cars. Went to a movie with my friend. We saw Gladiator. It was awesome. Right, don't. That's a story. You've just developed a story, and those images represent each of those points, pivotal points of when which you actually watched that movie and you came back from that movie, and the end point, beginning, middle, and end. You've just written a story, and you've created an idea from that story onto that paper as those references, and that's the thing. So you have the number one, which is your reference. Number two, converting those reference on paper using words, which is the story, to develop a physical idea that you need to create a thing. And those are the two ones. Those are the two biggies. First reference, second story. Number three, well, you're saying, well, that's not working out for me. What am I going to do? And like what you're saying doesn't make any sense. It's not working. Okay, I have my image. I know what I want. I I got what I need to do. I do not need this. What I need is to figure out how to maintain this, because every time I step away from my computer, or every time I go to the movies, or someone asks me to buy something from a store, or I go and eat my dinner, or I eat my lunch, or I eat something, or I'm on the job. I just got this magical idea, but I'm on the job and I cannot do this while I'm on the job. I have to do it while I'm on my lunch break. And by the time I got to my lunch break, I don't remember what it is I wrote or what it is I had in my head. So in order to maintain this, if you already have your idea, or if you don't have your idea, create a new idea, we'll continue on from creating a new idea and how to flesh out what you've created your new idea. Or we could continue on from, I already got my information, what I need. I don't need a reference. I don't need a story. I already got it. But I need to maintain this thing. I need to maintain this because I keep forgetting. I have a low memory. What I saw within my head is not there anymore. Specifically there. It has to be there perfectly. It has to be there exact, has to be there where I want it, and that's not working. So what you do with regards to those cases, you simply flesh that image out within your mind. What I mean by fleshing it out is that you create like a circle around that image in your head, like imaginary circle around that image in your head, and you fill that image that you've just seen as much as you can with the colors that those images in your head represent as strongly as possible. Remember, saturation is the key. And then as you're moving away from, or you're figuring that, okay, at this, I'm starting to forget this thing, the saturation in those colors within your mind will slowly dry out and lose and be replaced by, oh, you need to make this sales for this product, or I need to get this stuff from the store, or I need to take a bath. Whatever it is that going on in your life, in your head at that moment, is slowly taking away from that saturation. So you need to fill up that image within your mind with more saturation of color, with more saturation of that specific thing. You keep thinking about it and thinking about it so you don't forget it, but that doesn't work. You need to fill out something specifically to represent that thing so you don't forget it. So if you use colors to saturate that image in your head, it becomes more vibrant and becomes more powerful. And you say, okay, but that doesn't work. I'm not really talking about the colors implementing within the thing itself. I'm talking about the colors being pulled, or the idea being pulled apart due to other things that are going around in your life that are replacing it, because they're now the dominant factor of what you have to do in your life. So these things are pulling whatever was original in your mind apart. So in order to maintain that and keep that together, the saturation of colors, that's what's necessary. So as they're pulling apart, the colors are slowly dragging apart along with what you're seeing, what your image, what's playing out in your head, and it's slowly dragging and thinning what's in the center away, or what the idea is away. Let's say I just watched Ellen Ripley kill the big bad alien, and in that specific way, she's at a specific position. She's at a specific position. She killed that alien in a specific way that's in my mind, and I'm seeing it, and I want to maintain that image from the beginning to what I saw to the end of what I saw. And I want to keep that image in my head at all times and not lose it. So you fill that specific, you layer that image continuously on top of each other over and over and over again until you get to a certain level and say, okay, it's thick, it's saturated. So whatever I think about in life, as it's slowly dragging away from that specific thing, it's taking away from the original idea. So it's taking the layers that are formulated on top of the original thing away, so that by the time I get back to it, not a lot of it is lost within my mind. It's still there. So that's one idea of how to do it. You have to see things from a painter's perspective, the toning out of things from light to dark. Things in life will take away from what you're seeing in your art form by slowly toning it away. But if you fill it up, saturate that image within your mind, powerful with whatever you need. I don't know if you think of a black blinking lights, flashing within that object, or you could think of Ellen Ripley and the aliens defeating the aliens at that last part within the movie, in the 1986 movie, at the last part from that point to that end specifically, and you layer it, saturated on, I guess, whatever object you need to think of that you never lose thought of, you never lose an understanding of. Like a banana looks like a banana. You know what the image of a banana is, no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what you're doing in your life. You always know a banana looks like a banana. You all know a cow looks like a cow. All right, so you use Ellen defeating the aliens as the cow, like pretend like that's a cow, and so you will always get the idea. Oh, okay, he says cow. What do I think when I think of cow? This form of object. So if you think about it from that perspective, you will never lose it, and you fill that image of Ellen fighting, defeating that alien that way with saturated colors and layering it on top of each other. That's the way of maintaining that thing. But that's one way of doing it. To maintain colors by fleshing out, when things in life fleshes it out, how you maintain it through saturation. And those are the three main things of how to create an idea, alternative ways to create an idea, and you can move those things around. You can move the fleshing out towards the different image that you write on the paper with the reference and the story, and you can move that forward and that backwards. So you could take the, okay, I got the idea, I'm layering it with saturated colors. I'm thinning it. I'm imagining something, thinning it out. I'm putting down paper, and that could now be the story of what I've just created. And then I put them at certain sections, and from beginning, middle, and end, when I get to the end, this is what happens. So you could reverse everything I just said. You could take the flesh out and put that forward, and you put the story second, and you put the reference of exactly where you position things that you've seen based on that in your head. You put that towards the end, and you could turn it around. You put it in the middle and at the end, back at the end, or you can put them in order: first reference, story, and fleshing out. But those are methods of how you could do certain things when you want to create an idea, or when you want to maintain an idea. But that's just one method. It's not a method that works for everyone, but this is a method that I realized that have worked in the past for me. If the fleshing out is a little confusing, does not work for you, by all means, you could ignore that part of what this video is about, and you could use the other two. The other two are useful. Sometimes people don't understand the third part, but once you get it down, you'll understand what I'm saying. Another way for which I could say you could use towards the third part, the whole fleshing out, is by using perspective. This is the physical perspective right here of an individual looking forward in this direction, going in this direction. And this is the horizontal line, and these are vanishing point, vertical vanishing point, and horizontal vanishing point are here and here, as you can see. See? Now, based on that, I'm now going to flip it over here. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing. But instead of him looking this way, it's that he's looking directly forward. So it's like Like say Sam and Dean Winchester were driving off into the sunset. He'll be driving directly this way, off into the sunset. The buildings will be here and everything, the vanishing point here, and here will be here. But what I'm talking with regards to this, towards fleshing out or towards story or creating story with reference, is that you could take, you could use the first point perspective, or you could use the third point perspective and add it towards what you put towards those images on that paper that you've written the story from the idea out on that paper for reference. You could use the third person perspective, or you could use the first person's perspective, which is using the horizontal line, using the vanishing points, using the vertical vanishing point, the third person vanishing point, and using something I like to call the God perspective, which you learn in psychology class, which is you're actually this person. So you're actually this individual right here. You're this individual right here. You're this character. You're seeing this thing. You're seeing everything in life from a first person point of view. And you're looking at the trees, you're looking at houses, you're looking at everything. But at a certain point, you decide to, okay, I'm going to take my eyes and I'm going to expand those eyes. And now I'm not only seeing everything from my point of view, I'm also seeing myself as well. I'm just the eyes, expand the eyes. So now you get from that to this. This circular image around here represents your eyes. Right here. But I put some eyelashes and stuff like that. This represents your eyes. So now you're not only seeing things from the first person point of view, seeing Sam and Dean going off into the sunset with the trees and everything here. You're now seeing yourself looking at Sam and Dean going off into the sunset. So when your eyes are turning, like say, he has a little things going on top of his head, and now he's looking towards an image off to this direction, which is the left. Well, from where I'm showing this, it looks like from the right, but it's actually from the left. He's now looking towards this direction to the left. You are actually the eye of the person from the first person perspective, are actually looking towards the left. So when you look towards the left, it will look towards the left, and you're saying, okay, so that's funny. It's looking towards the left. Like, why is it looking towards the left? Because you look towards the left. So now you could use whatever they're looking towards the left as a representation of an idea, which you need to create for your project, or which you need to create for making new ideas, or which you need to create for maintaining something that you figure that you're about to lose. It's mostly for creating something that you have not thought of. It's like, okay, so I'm now in the first person God perspective. I'm looking at myself, looking at certain objects, and you're saying to yourself, that's funny. So I'm directing my eyes this way, and the object I'm looking at is looking at something on the floor, but it's not looking at the direction in which I'm looking at, but it really is. It's just that you're at a certain distance now where you can see yourself. So what it's looking at is the exact same thing you're looking at, but you're now looking at your character as well. So now you could create something from that object that is looking at from what you're seeing from this aspect ratio. And that's one of the things that you could use for developing an idea or to maintain an idea. And that's pretty much it for this video.